Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Face Reading Secrets of Successful Relationships, Session 3. For identifying the compatibility of the partners, I use the criteria which I described in my book, Face Reading Secrets for Successful Relationships. And you can get a taste of it in my YouTube's user guide, part 1, 2, and 3. And now our couple is Bill and Melinda Gates. Tell you in advance, this couple works well together. That is, as a couple, they will endure, I believe. Morphologically, they are almost a perfect combination. Remember, the perfect match are those who have opposite temperaments and faces, which allows them to grow and learn from one another, as well as appreciate the differences. Let's look at them separately. First, Bill. Bill, as you can see, is a pure Saturn, and that stays through all his years. He is a Saturn as a teen, in his 20s, in his 40s, and even now. Except perhaps on the picture 3. Here you can see the circle on top of the trapezoid. We call it Moon over Mars. Maybe, perhaps it was time when Bill and Melinda had a baby. Remember, the moon are particularly motherly. So what do we know about the Saturn personality that he always has been? Extremely time conscious, they need to be on time. They are very uncomfortable if they are even a few minutes late. We're talking about even when Bill was a teen, he was not a guy who would stay in bed until late and run to school at the last moment. You see in a kind of an orderly nerd with a lot of clear but practical goals. Sexual fantasies as well. Remember, Saturn hypersexual. He was a very reliable from the get-go, always organized and meticulous, and always knew what he had done so far and what was left to be accomplished. As all Saturn personalities, Bill takes time before he acts and therefore may seem to be indecisive. In reality, he is very capable of making decisions and acting upon them. He just needs time between the thought and the action. As all Saturn personalities, he is a deep thinker with philosophical inclination. He is what we call positive pessimist, can see the downside of everything, but is inspired by the challenges to overcome them. In fact, overcoming challenges was what gives his life meaning. When things do not work, he becomes sad. Sadness changes into anger in the Saturn, which again fuels the will to overcome obstacles. Bill's temperament, as I mentioned already, Bill is lymphatic with a nervous cast. Interesting. A few days ago, in the face reading secrets of the people in the news, I did a reading of Dalai Lama, the spiritual leader of Tibet. He is also bilious lymphatic with a nervous cast. Look at the red line going straight down from the forehead to the chin. That's a bilious quality. And also the corner of the jaw. But the other line, if you look at his jaw, and then the flash from the chin down, green arrow. That's a lymphatic quality. So as a bilious, Bill is a natural leader, has great endurance, needs little sleep, more organized, meticulous. As a lymphatic, and he, of course, became lymphatic in the last maybe 15 years, maybe 10 years, by gaining weight and aging. He became even more orderly, self-sufficient, in need for justice, tolerant and accepting. But also he has a nervous cast. On this picture you can see it better. Having nervous cast means he's a quick thinker, creative and emotional, but also capable, as I said, to sit back and to see a whole picture. That's the lymphatic quality. But now let's talk about Melinda. I did not find photographs of her as a child or as a teenager. So let's look at her face today. It's interesting and a bit confusing, of course. It looks like her face is a Venus here, right? But also, if you look at another picture, not the one on the lower right, which is Venus, but the one on top in the middle. As you can see, she's also a Neptune, the elongated face, the oblong. Remember what I said in the past. If a person looks like a person has two different faces, more than likely he or she possesses qualities of both personalities. So the Venus Melinda is all about love. Loves her children, loves to be loved, loves all the children of the world, the whole humanity, and all the creatures of the world. As most Venus personalities, she is involved in social causes and in bringing parties that fight to the negotiating table. She is lively, spunky, and resourceful, has a lot of practical intelligence, and knows how to organize things to make everyone comfortable. The Neptune phase brings to her personality spirituality. Remember, Neptune is the most spiritually oriented of all phases, and also creativity and imagination. And let's look at Melinda's temperament now. As you can see, she is very much a sanguine. And what do we know about sanguine? They're courageous, spontaneous, and patient, which these days, of course, is balanced by her husband's lymphatic qualities of patience and tolerance. I assume when they were younger, it wasn't as easy. The sanguine are generous and love a lot of fun. Melinda's forehead, though, is bilious, so intellectually she's not impulsive, and she's not short, doesn't have short attention span. Intellectually, she's very capable to focus on ideas and to have long-term plans. And finally, let's look now at Bill and Melinda together. What do we see? Yes, the tips of their noses. You see this roundness at the tip. This feature means that a person is naturally kind. It does not mean that a person with a different tip of the nose cannot be kind or is unkind. It simply means that for people with this particular feature, acting with kindness is a natural way of being. And if they happen to act not kindly, they feel very guilty. Now, to remind you, Billy is a bilious lymphatic with a nervous cast and Saturn face, and Melinda is a sanguine with a bilious forehead and a Venus face. So he is a quick thinker, creative and emotional, but capable of sitting back and seeing the whole picture. As his wife's sanguine impulse kicks in, he is capable to appreciate her courage, but also her kindness, the roundness of the nose, the tip of the nose. And even if she pushes, as sometimes sanguines do, too hard, or wants to see results too quickly, he is capable of detaching and not reacting. Remember his pale blue eyes. She admires his brilliance, the nervous quality in him, and stability, the lymphatic quality, and he loves her love for fun, her generosity, and her readiness to put up a fight where there is social injustice. That's the Venus quality. Mentally, they are both organized and very capable of pursuing long-term goals. So they can appreciate each other's drive and commitment to succeed in their respective endeavors. Physically, they are very compatible as well. His nervous and her sanguine bodies need breaks and rest between the spurts of activity. She shoots from the hip by speaking what she thinks with honesty and detachment, like her sun lips, and he softens her delivery by being more patient and gentle as lymphatics go. She is fire and he is water. Together they make steam that moves the vessel that they have created with power and wisdom. And that is all for this couple. And thank you for being with me today. Best wishes. Till next time.